Hello, so I'm back again. Wow, YouTube, you suck bad. Holy crap. So you know what they did? They changed everything. So now there's a brand new little icon that says, hey, new. And that means everything's changed. I can't watch people chatting. Live chat, all messages are live. There we go. And I really want people to be able to put up messages and whatnot, and even tell me if it's working, because I guess I was born and raised in the city, but I'm a country boy now. I live way out in the country. And so I have satellite internet, and they say it's amazing and fantastic. But when you actually use it, it's useless and worthless. Wow. What a crap show this week. I'm really sorry. YouTube changed their whole bloody format, and now we're going to have to wait a month until one of these awesome internet geeks that are amazing and I love post a video on, hey, YouTube just changed everything, and now you get to figure out. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Thanks, YouTube. There we go. I can see the questions now. Pamela. Hooray is correct. I'm so sorry. You know how when you update your phone and then you have to learn how to use it again? God, I love that. Okay, I see artillery bugs there. Anna Stamberg. Hey, everybody. Awesome. So I already answered a question in the last one about, do Sasquatch have language? There's my girl, Amanda. Please, Amanda, tell me that everything is working. Can you hear my audio? Working now? Yes. Awesome fix. Thank you, Justin. All right, Ninja Rabbit, here we go. Howdy from West Texas. Howdy. Isn't that Hawaiian? All right. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Amanda. Okay. Hi, Todd. Sasquatch migrate. Let's do that one. There we go, right off the bat. Do Sasquatch migrate? I don't think so. They're going to move. I think all animals, just as an example, like bears, move to the salmon as a food source. And even bears that would normally be aggressive and kill each other and eat each other aren't very dangerous when there's an abundance of food, like when the salmon spawns. So I would think they would move to food sources more than migrate. Follow the elk herds. That's one of my primary, that's my, wow, they're following food sources. And that's, following the salmon. When the berries are ripe, they're going to move. Bears do this. Species do this. People do this. You move to follow the food sources. And if you're eating elk all winter and deer, which is what I think is the case, I think they take the animals and the meat, freeze, and they eat it. And I've even actually seen in British Columbia and Washington State, where the salmon spawn, where the Sasquatch will take the salmon, run up to altitude, and put them in the permafrost. Crazy, right? So they're literally storing food, but territory matters. They'll fight for territory. So it's a really complicated question, but migrating over great distances just doesn't make sense to me. Over really great distances, like I think the prairie grizzlies and the mountain grizzly bears that live amongst the mountains and where I am from in Banff and into Yoho National Park, they have a big territory and they move around, and I think the Sasquatch are most likely like that. So I swear they look like animatronics. My goodness, Axel. Man, I wreck cameras. I cost a fortune. I can barely pay for my gas and my internet. And it's funny, people think that my Sasquatch look like animatronics. Who's doing the, it's what would kill it for anybody, and what really convinces someone like Survivor Man is when he goes backcountry with me and he says, hey, so let's say we've been moving for a day, a long hike for a day, and I'm talking one direction in one day, where you've been hiking all day, you're not going back unless you're hiking back 12 hours in the opposite direction in pitch black, which you can't do. When I show him where I filmed Jake as an example, and you see those mountains that we can see maybe 15 miles, 20 kilometers in the distance, right on the other side of that is where I filmed Jake. So Survivor Man didn't have a week to go backcountry with me to the spot where I filmed Jake. But if I could just show people where I filmed them, you couldn't hike out there. What am I going to get? Helicopters dropping animatronics? I mean, that just would end the question right there. But I understand there's a big paradigm with my footage. And obviously, most people don't believe it. And Axel, you are not. I don't think you're a troll, dude. That was just a legit question. I respect people's opinions. Don't forget, I was convinced Sasquatch couldn't be real in the biology a long time ago. And if we're not going to talk to people like you, Axel, with legit questions like that, and I respect opinions. My job is to convince the skeptics a lot, and as well as work with people that know Sasquatch are real and help them in their research. So I do both things, and I'm after pop culture, and I'm after people that know Sasquatch are real. So I'm going to go back to a question from my Sylvanic forum. I don't know who sent this question, but it says talks about structures and what's the purpose. What do they mean and what are they for? And I'm very convinced that structures are built in response to a traumatic event. And I'll tell you why. 3 or 4 occasions I've seen the structures built by roads way in the backcountry where literally a big D9, if you guys know what a D9 is, look it up. It's this big, huge diesel, enormous tractor with this blade that needs to be transported on a tractor trailer all by itself. And with screaming diesel engine with no muffler on it, pumping poisonous diesel chemicals up in the air, it destroys this beautiful forest and pushes through and creates a road. Now, to a Sasquatch, that's their home, that's where they live. That's a traumatic experience. And I've seen them build structures off roadsides from roads that are way in the backcountry. And on 2 occasions specifically, that read on this episode of Survivor Man, and I think is that my documentary? I don't know. Am I Discovering Bigfoot documentary? Anyways, there's a moment when I have a flare and I'm screaming at the Sasquatch to leave me alone. They were kind of blocking me from leaving. And as I'm screaming and they're growling at me and smashing things, they're building structures, 2 of them. And if that's not a traumatic event, I don't know what is. And there's one more event that transpired where I heard way off in the mountains. I think that 2 Sasquatch had a fight over dominance. I heard the most unreal sounds, the earth shaking. I think there was 2 Sasquatch fighting with each other. And a few days later, when I got to that spot, I think it was 3 days later, when I got to the spot where they were fighting, I could see on one side of the river there was a Sasquatch structure that was still intact, and on the other side of the river there was a Sasquatch structure that looked like it was built and then torn apart. So it's like these 2 Sasquatch built structures in competition before they fought to see, this is my kick-ass building a structure. If that doesn't impress you with power, man, I don't know what to tell you. The breaks are impressive. I'm actually convinced that no, I don't think the structures create boundaries for humans. I think the tree breaks do. But I'm answering a question here. I'm trying to answer it in full sentence. But yeah, we have a great new photograph next week that's very interesting, as good as Fernie Bigfoot last week. And but you know what I ask people now is I want to see a tree break. I want to see that 3 or 4 inch tree break that's busted clean, because I don't know how I can't fake that. I've tried this year to not to fake it, but to break them in response to the Sasquatch, right? To show them I can do it. And what I did is I took a little saw and then I snapped it when the saw had almost broken. It looks nothing like a tree break. Those tree breaks are, even I had a construction worker come on an expedition with me this year. Sorry, a construction company owner who's been working with wood his whole life. And that man is like, Todd, that you'd need a really specialized hydraulic tool to bust and make tree breaks like that. And who would be walking around with you need like backhoe strength and a specialized tool to snap them clean like that. Because literally what you have to do, you could practice this. Go take a little branch and break the branch wide, and you'll see trailers and it doesn't break clean. Then take the branch, compress it really close with your hands like this, and snap it like that. And you'll see this, and snap it slowly, go and make a controlled break. You'll see there's a specialized look to it. It's a very special pressure break. And I don't know how to duplicate that. Honest to God, I almost was going to put out a $1,000 award to anybody who could duplicate that, but I don't have $1,000. So, especially not for animatronics, my God. So let's see if we can find how many Sasquatch are typical in a troop that you've seen. What a good question. Wow, you guys are awesome. I've seen a troop where by a reserve in Alberta, Morley Reserve. I studied a troop there for quite a while. Where I believe there was only 4 or 5 in the group, but I think the male died, and so much logging was going on just outside the reserve, so much raping of the land and minerals and everything. I think the territory became worthless to a Sasquatch, and I think when the male died, no new male took over because it's worthless territory, and that family was kind of even trapped in that crappy territory, and they couldn't move into another good territory because there's probably a Sasquatch over there, and no male wanted to come and take over this territory because it's crappy territory. So there's an example of 5. In Nordegg, I think there's 12, but it's going to change every year. right? In radium, I've noticed variances in population. The saddest thing that really I actually teary-eyed realized recently is that my friend Jake is extremely likely to be gone from radium. I mean, I bled with Jake. Jake, this, it's hard to explain how much, the guy certainly saved my life once, and he's not the one that did the sap on the leg thing. But anyways, well, I don't know that he did or didn't. But anyways, discovering Bigfoot, there's some loud growls there. We'll talk about that in a second, Amanda, of loud growls. But anyways, yeah, the population is gonna change. Females that will grow up, even, let's say the dad is 20 when he breeds a female, and a young female grows up, and then she's 20 and he's 40, and if he's still the boss of the troop, he can't breed with her. She's got to leave. In fact, she's not going to stay at 20. She's probably going to take off at 14, 15 years old, right? So it's going to be migration, and numbers are going to be difficult to calculate. So, but I hope that answers population. So I think between as small as 5, should have been 6 if the dad was there, to as large as probably 20. And maybe there's a gathering of Sasquatch. I think that's the year Jeff Meldrum and I had the best success with Survivor Man. I think there might have been a gathering of Sasquatch there. That's a whole other big question. And that's really a theory that's in progress. That's a theory that's going to take a lot of evidence to prove. And it's a very weak theory. I almost apologize for making it, but I just don't understand what happened back in 2014, I believe it was, where Nordegg went ape crazy. Like, wow, too many individuals. I thought there was 20, 30 individuals there, and I hadn't even gotten to the main group where the young were, and the females, and I think there was a lot of Sasquatch there, and I don't know why the population jumped so much. But going back to the forum question, Blackwater, really good question. Male versus female prints. Tracking simply takes practice. You got to practice, and keep practicing, and you never be done. I've been practicing tracking for 20 years, and I am still learning. So there's a lot of learning, a lot of to go. But what you're going to learn is even the substrate and the terrain, you're going to see a track from an individual. And let's say you see a 14-inch track from an individual, and you can note the depth. It's hard for you to understand the power, because in nature, there's really, like, bears won't put out power like that. Ungulates have hooves. It's very different the way they move and the way they tear the ground. Soft foot track is of something as powerful and as big as a Sasquatch is just a learning experience of your own. And I found people that track mountain lions are really good with mountain lions, and then bears and elk. And I try to study everything. I love nature. I love everything. So I'm studying all animals, all movement, all trackways. But with the Sasquatch, when you got a 14, let's say 14 to 12-inch track, and you see it's wide and it's heavy, and then you have another 14 to 12-inch track, and you see that one's slender and not as deep. Which one do you think is which? We have notable sexual dimorphism, which means males are significantly bigger than females, like in gorillas, like with lions, and even in humans, we have sexual dimorphism. So theoretically, the more sexual dimorphism between a couple, the more likely the male is to cheat on the female. Go figure that in science. So if you're a big, huge guy and you got a little tiny wife, well, according to anthropological studies and primatology, I'm more likely to cheat on you, which is crap and garbage. Stay devoted to your wife, love your wife, and treat her well if you can. So anyways, Sasquatch have sexual dimorphism. The males are bigger. They're more powerful. They're heavier, and their tracks are deeper. So just it's all about relativity, right? And your substrate's going to be different. I have trouble. Gosh, if you put me in the Amazon, I think I would pick it up really fast. I think I would learn it because I have specialized tracking skills, and I would read another tracker and learn from another tracker really well. I'd be an excellent student. But it's going to take time to learn the substrate, the leaves, the plants, the animals. So Bigfoot is not a wild human, Kid Extreme. Definitely not. They're their own species. So will Bigfoot hurt humans or take a woman? I wish you hadn't asked me that, Adam. Yes, Bigfoot will hurt human beings. A squirrel would hurt you if it could. A squirrel, grab a squirrel out of a tree and try to take it away from its home. It'll tear your hand apart. It'll fight and rip your hand as much as it can. All species will defend themselves. It's really quite universal. And will they take women? It's been very noted in First Nations and Native American culture, and it seems to be in the DNA that's in Zoo Bank. I'm just stating facts. Not facts. I'm stating oral history of the native people and the facts that come up in zoo bank with the DNA that's there, there seems to be human female mitochondria only, no male mitochondria, which means that Sasquatch have taken women and bred with them. And no, that doesn't mean that. That's the theory. Got to be careful. These are you people are kicking my ass with these questions. So do Bigfoot have fire and cooked meat? Absolutely not. Bigfoot, stay away from technology. Bigfoot fear technology. Fire is technology. Spears are technology. Making a spear, building. Anyways, structures are not technology. They're just signs. And Sasquatch firmly believe, and this is what I talk about my expeditioners over a week. I explain this to them. Sasquatch fear technology. They think it's made us insane. And if you look around every day and you see people staring at their phones and walking around and addicted to social media and all the stuff that's going on, there's certainly a degree of truth to what technology making us insane as. Todd, would you be possible to use a tranquilizer gun? Okay, dude, Thomas, go watch To Kill or Not to Kill a Sasquatch on my YouTube page. That's very well explained deeply. So we'll go back. So thanks, Blackwater, for that awesome male versus female. Malama 17. Have you heard? Oh God, you guys push me with these questions. It's hard for me to talk about this stuff. So, have you heard a Sasquatch shrill, terrifying screams? Yes, once. No, twice. But the once that comes to mind, a little. So I'm in again back to the Morley Sasquatch that I was working on. What happened was all this huge story, huge long story. But in the end, I get into a spot where I come out of my ghillie suit and there's a female Sasquatch behind a couple of trees. And I know she's there. And I stand up in my ghillie suit, turn my camera on, and I got a tape. This is DV tapes in my camera, but it's still 1080 interlaced back in whatever year that was, 2009 or 10 or whatever it was. So anyways, I stand up with my camera, I start recording, I'm waiting for her to move. And whichever way she moves, I'm going to get footage. She's not getting away from me. So we stand off till the damn tape is the tapes only lasted an hour. So, and I'm literally stood off with the Sasquatch for an hour, and I can't really get a look at her. I know she's there. She knows I'm there, and we move a little bit this way. She moves a little opposite to me. She's very concerned but patient. So what do? I kind of made a poor decision, and I hit stop on my tape recorder because I thought I'll stop and rewind the tape and then continue recording. So I hit stop, and that made a little sound. But when I hit rewind, it went like that. And this female Sasquatch screamed so loud that I literally dropped the camera and dropped to the ground and put my hands over my ears as she ran, just at the top of her lungs. And knowing how loud Sasquatch can yell, literally, it wasn't enough. My ears were stinging as I had my hand. I actually put my head down below and put it between my knees. Even when she was 10 seconds into the scream, my eardrums were it was brutally loud. She went screaming right through the whole reserve like that. The whole reserve woke up. And the next day, I was booted out of the reserve permanently and forever. The Sasquatch came back and were busting up trees, killing horses, smashing down corrals, smashing on people's houses. So they retaliated. End of my Sasquatch research on the reserve there. But have I heard them shrill, terrifying screams? Yes, that was one time. And I made her do that, I guess. Apparently Rockhound was roared at and it traumatized them. I can see that sometimes when they roar at you, they hit you with infrasound too. And it the roaring is it shakes your body. They're so big and powerful. But you know what, Rockhound or whoever gets roared at, they're testing your metal, dude. That's what they do. And if you don't understand what that means, go look it up. They're going to test your metal. If they're going to interact with you, if they're going to respect you, they're going to test your metal. That's what these intelligent, amazing primates do. So if you can't handle it, like Jeff Meldrum told me once after I filmed video 8, he just looked at me and he said, that's the most, he said, actually on the camera, I can't look into the eyes of that Sasquatch and not feel like I'm looking into the eyes of a living being. That's in my documentary. Turn off the camera. And he goes, if you didn't go up there, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And I go, of course I went up there, Jeff. And I told him what happened after I went up there. My cameras were dead. But as scary and as terrifying as it is, if you're not going to go up there after, if you're not going to do your job, if you're not going to move forward, go do something else. And you know what? I've heard a lot of people, a lot of times, these guys that think they're Sasquatch researchers and blah, blah, blah. And they have a real Sasquatch encounter and they quit and they leave and you never hear from them again. And it's that scary. So if you're not willing to do it, if you're not willing to, you know, go the distance, walk that tightrope, get scared and keep moving forward, then go find something else to do. So, China Productions, amazing, Todd, just amazing work, blessings, and thank you for your dedication. I believe their culture prohibits contact with us due to our destructive and disrespectful attitude towards the earth. I concur. Next question. Wholeheartedly. Yes. I mean, all species a deer would avoid and stay away from people its whole life. You ever heard of a phantom buck? You know, most of the bucks get killed because they're running around trying to breed with females. So, you know, who wouldn't want to stay away from a destructive species? And maybe destructive is not the right word, but sure are ambitious and we sure can do overly damaging things. And, you know, so smell. Someone talked about skunk smell and blah, blah, blah. And an interesting thing that I know I've spoken about this before. If you can smell a Sasquatch, he knows damn well you're smelling him. They live and die by the wind gauge. Get that into your head. He's not accidentally letting you smell him. But I've actually seen in real life where I was beside gorillas. I get to go back where I can touch the gorillas in a particular zoo I won't mention. But I've actually seen with my eyes. I was by a silverback, and you know, just right by the cage. Is like he can reach through the cage and touch you, so you gotta be careful. But anyways, I'm kind of sitting by him, and I'm just enjoying it. The primatologists are watching me, and I'm looking at his arms and his skin, and then I see like the skin move in a weird way, and then drips come out of it, and then he charged off after one of the female and beat the crap out of her. What gorillas will literally do, primates will. Their glands will open up and literally droplets of urine will come out that fast, like acutely, instantaneously. So what I learned that day is I've smelled Sasquatch that what I call have an acute scent, which means they're angry. Their glands are likely opening up right now and urine is acutely, sweetly coming out. It's a sweet kind of primate smell. And I've smelled the old stinky kind of smell. There's a big difference. It's like, I don't know, when things get really old and rancid, they smell different when they're sweet and smelly. I kind of guess that sounds, urine always smells, right? And it's urine that comes out of the pores. It's urine that makes those scents. And they all have a very similar, it's like you can go see a gorilla tracker. He'll go, gorillas are close, you know, and you could smell the gorillas. I go to the zoo and I could smell gorillas and I could smell chimpanzees. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about scent and smell. So keep that in mind. You know, remember, they are never unaware. First of all, they have to, in my experience, they have to get hostile. They have to get, you know, they have to have an emotional response before they start excreting urine. So that happens. A. B, he knows the wind gauge. He knows you're going to smell him. He's probably been watching you. Like, these guys are so dominant. I don't know what to say. Just if you don't understand the dominance and incredibleness of the hide and seek champion of the world, I love that. Then I don't know. How do you deal with ignorance and people calling you out as a fraud? Are they jealous? Are they shady? Well, I don't know what they are. Thanks for the question, Matt. Are they rival Bigfoot research and envious? You know, it's actually a terrible cliche. Einstein was mocked and chastised. Gandhi was killed by his haters. There's a documentary. Mother Teresa devoted her whole life to the wonderment of the world and doing good things. And the BBC did a documentary about her called The Angel of Death, because she had to choose who got medication and who didn't. You know, so everybody has their haters. If you're going to do anything significant, you're going to have your haters. Some people need to be medicated. I was taught that by Survivor Man. But yeah, so, you know, it just goes with the territory. It's hard for me because I don't know how to explain this. It does hurt me. It's not water off a duck. I'll go through comments, and now I have people looking through my comments, and you know, I'll hear 20 people say wonderful things, and I see some guy just say something awful and horrible language, and then I'll walk away and I'll feel that negativity. So it is difficult for me. I don't want to be in the public eye. I don't want to do all this stuff, but I've tried to just be the guy behind the scenes, but nobody else was doing it. This has been a hard thing. So I hope you can understand that once this discovery is done, I will disappear and go be humble and quiet and It's ironic because the person that has to do this has to be patient and understand the wilderness and be able to sit in the bush for I could go sit in the bush for a week in one spot and just be super happy. So I'm really a different, and many people that are alone, that get this discovery moving forward and do excellent with it. That kind of person who's the best to make this discovery is the worst to go public and do this. Isn't that weird? So you got this weird thing going on like that. And anyways, so that's where I'm at. But I'll be really happy to get my privacy back and have my private life. And even my wonderful son, who's the most incredible, amazing, wonderful person in my life, he goes to school and people say bad things to him, and it's really hard for him because his dad goes out and risks his life. Like, he cries when I leave. There are tears in his eyes. I go out there on an expedition once. I opened up the suitcase and there was a note that he snuck in there. It said, "Daddy, please come home safe." He's asked me to stop doing this because he knows that, a grizzly bear, a black bear, a mountain lion could kill me. A mountain could fall on me. There's a million things that can go wrong. Mountains fall, man. Anyways, it's dangerous. My gosh, try to do this. And I used to do it alone, for goodness sake, with no guns, for goodness sake, like, wow. So anyway, it's dangerous and hard. And yeah, it's hard for him someone says your dad's a liar, and he just, he looks at him sideways and goes, "I love my dad with all my heart. And my dad risks his life for this discovery, and you're calling him a liar? After we made this sacrifice, after what we've done, my dad gave up his house. My dad gave up, financial stability to do this after all we've sacrificed, because he's sacrificed too. You call us that's the thanks we get? We're liars. We build animatronics. My wife or my sister or my aunt or my uncle or my dog, our special effects makeup artists, make up my mind. It's ridiculous. It's asinine, but we push forward. So and thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Andy, my man, posts. Elizabeth asks about drumming. I've never heard them drum. I would be stunned if I ever heard a drum. I don't know what to say. I've seen no evidence of drums. I know there's some hardworking people that do good research, apparently, that, say that they do drumming. I don't know. I would, primates with blah, 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 drums. That's kind of, it's a little out there. So I would really investigate that if I ever heard it, but I've never heard any drumming. And not to say it doesn't happen. I just don't know. Remember, I'm never unhappy to say it. I don't know. Let's do a question here. I'm a pioneer. Thank you very much, Ernest. Lady in the Woods. They bang on their chests. Yeah, they do. Maybe that's the drummings. Who just said that? Who said that? Lady in the Woods. Man, you're smarter than I am. Why don't you do a YouTube online? You guys are awesome. Mr. Skeptical. Not me. It's interesting, though. Why do scientists try to push away Sasquatch? Scientists try to push away Sasquatch because you got to be goddamn brave to put your career on the line. And they love, they're so comfortable in their old shoes that they don't want their paradigm shift. They're not brave enough. And I'll tell them right here, right now, don't take my word for it. Come out with me and I will show you a Sasquatch. And most of them buckle in their shoes. Most of them get out. They'll drive out there and go, "What was that?" I go, "That's a bear." "What was that over there?" "That was a mountain lion." "We're going over there?" "You betcha. That's what I do, brother. You want to come in?" "I'm going to go back to my books and I need to discuss this in my labs." So it's hard. It's tough. I've laid down to die sometimes. Like, people have no idea what this takes. They have no idea. Ever been charged by a grizzly bear? I can't even count how many times I've had monsters charge at me, looking for me to make a mistake, trying to see sideways. Is this prey? Is this prey? Do I kill this? Every day I go out, I guarantee you, every single day I'm in the wilderness, a black bear, a mountain lion, or a grizzly bear picks up my scent and decides to try to hunt and kill and eat me or not. I don't make that decision. They decide. So why don't scientists do this? Go back to their labs, right? John Bitternagel, man, that dude came out with me. Dr. John Bitternagel, the great man, came out with me. And man, he went days with me. He did it. Jeff Meldrum and Todd Standing alone in the backcountry, harshest wilderness conditions. Jeff Meldrum was out there hiking with me. Very, very brave. Survivor, man, forget about it. That dude is tougher than nails. I put him in the worst, scariest freaking spot I could ever find. That man stayed and spent the night, knowing what was out there, knowing in like a triangle of death, there's a grizzly bear scrape over there. There's where a mountain lion just killed a bighorn sheep, 20 meters that way, and there's a Sasquatch mark. Sleep here, Mr. Survivor Man. And he did it, and he would do it again. So that's what it takes. Ian Redman, man, I talked to that guy. Whew, he is one tough. He's been bit by gorillas. He's been beaten up by gorillas. Dr. Ian Redman, PhD. I can't wait to take you out with me. Wow. Michigan Sasquatch, we would like to hear that. Oh, I'm missing some stuff here. I only have a couple more questions. And how long are we into this? 30 minutes. So let's do some stuff. Please talk about the fighting with the flares, please. Well, there's no fighting. When I had the flares, this is what scared me. So the flares, I had just filmed video 4. So that's the female Sasquatch. If you don't know video 4, I'm sorry. I have 8 videos. But anyways, the video 4, she doesn't have a beard or anything. She's got tighter skin. So I just filmed her. It's taken me a couple days to get out. They've been tormenting me all night, but they always torment and push me out. When they threw a boulder down the hill, they were telling me, don't go down that trail. So I went down another trail. There's multiple ways you can go out. And believe me, I listen. They toss a log at me. I don't go that way. I go this way. So they're pushing me out. So I get back to base camp. Base camp is maybe, let's say 3/4 of a mile from the road. It's just high ground. I like to sleep there. So that's my base camp. And suddenly, so the Sasquatch come around at night and I'm left. I'm out of your territory. And suddenly they're like trying to push me back into Sasquatch habitat. They don't do that. And they're growling at me and they're running at me. And the things I saw that day, oh my God, it's so bad. That camera that I had just sucked for night vision. It's just useless at night. Totally useless, worthless at night camera. It needs highlight. LOL, Todd. Thanks, Debbie. But yeah, so they were pushing me back in. That's what was freaking me out. That was scaring me. So, and there's so much more to what happened. I could do 4 hours. I could do a whole movie about what happened for video 4 expedition. It's always like that, and most of the expeditions just have no success. So, that's just the one that we talk about because that one succeeded. I failed 20 times for every video. I got more than that. I thought the same thing exactly, was skeptical, but I've done research on them. And they are smart. Yes, they are smart. Hey, Aqua. Trying to find out a great question because you guys are amazing. Have you ever been in fear for your life? Yes. Boy, you guys, when you hit me with these questions, I pause and I go, okay. Of the Sasquatch research sites I've been to, many people invite me out. I stand on the shoulders of great men and women. Most of the Sasquatch research sites, I will go out there and the big male will come around and he will, how do I put this? He will convince me to never come back. He'll latch on to me, give me a shake, show me how powerful he is. He'll do something to me, even on multiple times, and he'll convince me, you're not welcome here. Don't come back. So, yeah, I have feared many times. Gosh. Actually, I always think back to just real quick, I probably said this before. In the zoo, I'm behind the scenes with the gorillas. The gorillas are touching me and rubbing me and all these cool things. You pull my nails. So it's the silverback, the big guy's cool. A female's cool. One particular female comes to me and she reaches out for me, and the primatologist grabbed me by the shoulders and rips me back. Get away. I'm like, what happened? She'll rip your arm and beat you to death with it. So I'm there. That girl is cool. And this one, I can't even tell the difference in the females. Was going to tear my arm, beat me to death with it. Oh yeah, she would have ripped you, bit you. She'd have grabbed you by the neck and tore your head off. She's extremely violent. And that goes through my head every time a new Sasquatch comes around, So that's why I was so happy in Radium with Jake, because I just trusted him. I knew he was just awesome. And boy, you guys are unreal with these questions. Has Bigfoot ever grabbed you? I don't want to talk about that. Who did that? Smelly Doe. Has Bigfoot ever grabbed you? Why? Yes. A Sasquatch has grabbed me. The worst time ever. I know you're supposed to talk about this stuff. I'm like, no, but I'm going to say it because after the flare, we're talking about the flare incident. You know what happened after the flare went out? After my camera stopped recording? The big, huge male latched onto me and took me for a run. He actually grabbed a hold of me, and I was like upside down, twisted. I mean, I was 240 pounds, with lean at the time, strong. And he latched onto me like I was a featherweight and started to run. And I remember literally, like, as he would move through the trees, because it's wilderness, it's trees. So he's through the trees. I could feel my body just ripping from the power. Like he was holding me gently, and I could feel the power that he could have just crushed me. But the torque that I was feeling and the panic set in. So I literally, this is not an exaggeration, I was gonna break my neck to get out of that hold. I was gonna kill myself. And the way I was positioned, twisted and bent and my head turning, I was literally just breaking my neck, twisting myself out. He kind of had a piece. I don't really understand how I was being held because I was upside down, panicked, freaking out. But I remember trying to break my own neck and not caring, and he let me go. So he wasn't trying to hurt me. He was trying to do something that is a whole other long book to write. But yeah, he grabbed a hold of me and went for a run, and that was crazy. I don't even know. Like, is that the craziest thing that ever happened to me? I don't know, but that was pretty crazy. So, Robert K., what do you think of finding Bigfoot? Oh man, what do I think of finding Bigfoot? Well, I was on the show once, and they have no interest in finding Bigfoot. They weren't interested. Each one of the people that were there, I told them, if you really want to see a Sasquatch, I'll take you out and show you. And in the crew, they don't go more than a half a mile off a main road. That's their rules. Bobo can't hike. His feet are all busted up he told me from fishing. His feet are wrecked. He can't hike any distance. I don't want to really bash anybody. I'm sorry. It did damage though, because Matt Moneymaker told all the networks, this is what the networks are telling me. He told the networks he would actually find Bigfoot and prove it. And that's one of the reasons they gave him the show. So then someone like me or even Survivor Man comes along, and literally Survivor Man comes along and says, they say to him, what are you going to do that Matt Moneymaker didn't do? And he says, actually find Bigfoot. And they go, people have been telling us that for 6 years. This Finding Bigfoot show has been on, and they've done every way to fake find Bigfoot. What are you going to do, Survivor Man? And Survivor Man's legit. Survivor Man does not do reality TV. Ask Survivor Man why he's not working with Cliff. Gave him a call, and Survivor Man said, no, sir. And Cliff's like, oh, I know the show was a little fake. I know it was and Les Stroud, you have to understand, there's like a war going on with reality TV that's fake and documentary style TV. Lies TV, Bear Grylls. You don't Man vs. Wild. That show's fake. That show's fraudulent. That show is contrived in ways that just are disgusting. Like, that show should be sued. I've had colleagues of mine call me up when there was some rumors about me working with Bear Grylls, literally saying, if you ever speak to that, if you're ever on that show, I will disown you. That man took water and squeezed it out of elephant dung and drank it in South Africa. I work with like snipers and experts in survival from South Africa, and that'll kill you. Like, he got sick from that. And that person, trying to be nice, is teaching children to squeeze the water out of fecal matter and drink it. When you're in a survival situation, in case you don't know, you are in deep trouble. Like, you're in trouble. If you get sick while you're trying to barely survive, you're going to die twice as fast. Don't do it. Don't eat rotten berries. Don't eat rotten meat. Don't eat what you don't know. You eat a poison berry and you're starving, you'll die 10 times faster than you normally would, because you have no ability to fight it off because you're sick. So, sorry. Awesome questions, though. I don't think Dogman exists. Stop asking me about Dogman. I don't know anything about Dogman. I don't think they exist. Actually, I don't know. Who am I? I go to Mexico, and I'm meeting with these incredible people, these shaman and stuff, and they tell me about the Aloosh. And I go, Aloosh? What do you... The little green men that run around the bush there. And they go, well, you expect us to believe that Sasquatch are real? We're telling you, I was born and raised here. I'm talking about real. This is in the Mayan area, where they're Mayan people. They've been there for the Mayans since Mayans were around, and Mayans are telling me the Aloosh are real. And there's all these things they do, like the Aloosh are as real as bears to them. They have power. So, and I'm like, well, people don't really believe in the Aloosh. He goes, oh yeah, watch this. We went up to he goes, pick somebody and go, there's a police officer. Go ask him. So we go up to the police officer, and we go, so do you think the Aloosh are real? He goes, real? One just whacked my wife's ass yesterday. He took out his phone. He showed me a picture of a little hand mark on his wife's ass because she pissed the Aloosh off, and it whacked her ass hard, like it hurt her. just to teach her a lesson, smartened her up. So they know, man, in Mexico, Mexican culture isn't a big part of pop culture enough as I think it should be. And, you know, so anyways, there's a lot going on that I don't know about. For goodness sake, I'm in the wilderness. I just do North American wilderness. That's where my expertise is. You know, I'd be a jerk. What is the Yowie real? I haven't been to Australia, but the Aboriginal people, I love this. They don't believe it. The Aboriginal people know it's real. They say it's real. I was contacted by a shaman from the Darnung Jup tribe. I don't know, 7 years ago, who had dreams about me, but I just can't go down there right now. It's I don't know. It's hard. So another question, because you guys are amazing. Do Bigfoot coexist with other large predators in their territory, or do they kill them due to competition for food? What an awesome Michael. Can't pronounce your last name. It's a cool last name. But that is an awesome question. Do they compete and coexist? I'll tell you, bears. When I take people out to a research area on my expedition, there's bears everywhere, mountain lion signs, and then we get in the Sasquatch area, almost none. Because a bear knows what a Sasquatch is. Bears are afraid of Sasquatch. Bears will run from a Sasquatch. I think a lot of reasons bears are afraid of people is they mistake people for Sasquatch, and they don't mess with people a lot of times. So, and any bear that gets an attitude problem is going to get his ass readjusted in 2 seconds by a Bigfoot. They are like, it's a long story, but it's like bear jujitsu. I've seen Sasquatch have an ability to just latch on to the biggest bear. And I've seen evidence of this huge grizzly bear stalking and hunting me, and a Sasquatch goes and whoops its ass. And then we're talking like a teenager, maybe 14 years old, takes on a fully grown, fully powerful brute of a grizzly bear. Bear 121, this monster gets his ass handed to him, and I see the evidence afterwards. So believe me, they allow predators to, I mean, they love nature, right? So look at the wolves of Yellowstone. There's a huge story. Look up the 14 wolves. It's on my Facebook page. 14 wolves of Yellowstone, I think it's called. You need wolves. You need predators. The ecosystem, Yellowstone was decaying and falling apart. The deer and the elk were pooping and defecating and urinating by where they drink, and their feces is going into the water and making them sick, until the wolves came in and made them run away and made them hide in the wilderness, and the river got tight and the birds came back, and the wolves killed some of the coyotes off. So the rabbits and the mice came back in population that made other things to grow, so keystone species. So, and Sasquatch know this. Sasquatch understand the harmony and equilibrium of nature very, very well. So they love all of nature. If you sat down with the Sasquatch, I guarantee you he'd say, man, I love wolves, I love bears. Like, spiritual animals are given to people, from bears to wolves to birds to everything, right? So nature is beautiful and everything is respected and admired. I know of hunters that have had Sasquatch like push deer towards them. They're trying to get, trying to have their hunter have some success, and legitimate, like this happened in Montana legitimately. I'm very convinced of it, I should say. But yeah, because Sasquatch hunt and kill, and some men, as far as hunting and hunters go, let me tell you something. People are built and born in a certain way. Artists are beautiful. Some people are meticulous, some people are messy, but we all have a beautiful place. We fit in this wonderful tapestry. And there are people, we're hunter-gatherers by anthropological definition. People are gonna hunt as long as it's okay in the biology. I mean, it's in our blood. It's still there. If people are gonna hunt, let them hunt. I'll tell you, there was a sheep called the Dolly sheep that are here in Canada. And they had no money to research them. This sounds crazy, but this is life. And if you don't like it, I don't know, change the world, and I'll be there to help you. But in the meantime, they didn't know anything about the Dolly sheep. There's no research, nothing. So what do? They actually put out a license for a hunter, $100,000 to go kill one Dolly sheep, one male. They don't know anything about them, but they don't have any money to do research. Money is short in supply. So I agree with this decision. So they got $100,000 by letting this hunter go, and he went out and he shot one. He came back and he had information for them. But Now they went and did $100,000 worth of research and realized, okay, the dolly sheep are pretty good. There's a good abundance. Next year, let's do 3 tickets for 300,000. And that 300,000 went towards more research and more dollars to work. Research is expensive, dudes. That's why this discovery is not done. Money. That's it. Somebody gives me a call and George Lucas calls me and says, Todd Standing, you're going to show me a Bigfoot. And I go, yes, sir, I can. And when you show me a Bigfoot, we're going to do this and do that. And it's going to be, how much is it going to cost? And I go, I don't know, $2 million. And we'll get it done. Thermal cameras in the air, drones following them. It's all about money. I'm sorry. Money or tools. Go take the alternator out of your truck without a wrench. Good luck getting the bolts out done with your fingers. Not going to happen. You need tools. And that's what money represents to me, is tools to get things done. And, that's why even make a donation, which, if you really want to help, make a donation, help out, go to my website and help out, get involved. And even so many people are, oh my goodness, people are helping me and volunteering stuff. It doesn't even take money sometimes, helping to build the website, helping to run the forums. Amanda, you're amazing. So we have 437 people online, 95 likes. Hey, give the video a like, everybody. Come on. If you're enjoying it, I'm here for you people, right? And I think you guys are amazing. I would give hundreds of you likes. These questions, what branch of the military were you in? I was not in any military branch. I'm not built to shoot people and harm people. No, I just don't think I could do that. Especially some government would send me off somewhere. I don't know. No disrespect. I'm kind of weird that way. But I have trained with snipers in that we move. We learn how to move. We learn how to conceal. We learn how to strategic points to move from, land to recognize. So I work with people like that. But I don't know really. I can shoot my handgun really well for self-defense purposes, but long-range sniping and stuff like that, I have no experience with that. I've had the privilege of working with people like that in specific areas, right? So recon US Ranger recon, helping them track and get better and stuff like that. What's the biggest Bigfoot you ever encountered? Thank you, Lee, before you disappear right at the top. Oh my God, the biggest Bigfoot I've ever encountered. I don't know. They're so, when it just gets to a point where they're so big, it just scares me. It's like there's a really horrible documentary that Dr. Meldrum participated in unknowingly. It was on the History Channel. It was like a fake documentary. It was really bad. And they copied a lot of my stuff, which they took stuff that I do and just made it fake. And it was pretty horrible. But one good thing that happened is they built a Bigfoot. I think it was about 9 feet tall, according to Dr. Meldrum's specifications. And Dr. Meldrum walks in the room when they have it done, and he goes, oh my God, you guys botched it. It's way too big. Way too big. What the hell were you thinking? Where's the dimensions? And he starts checking the numbers, and he realizes these are the precise dimensions. That's how big a 900 plus pound Sasquatch is. They're that big. Only 9 feet. I'm 6'3", so it's only 3 feet taller than me. It's, as percentage wise, it's a third taller. But I'm also between 240 and 220, depending on how exhausted and burnt out I am. But I might be 1/3 less of their height, but I'm literally, they're 300% larger than me. It's the size, it's the thickness, it's the power. That's why primatologists just can't believe this. They just can't wrap their head around this, because how could a primate that large be out there? But they're big. They're really big. And I hear rumors about stuff in Alaska. Wow. Not to mention they might have something they're covering up. There's lots of stuff going on, lots of really good questions. But yeah, they're just so big. It blows my mind. I just think mind blown when I see how big they are. Like Jake was, I estimated him around 16 years old. And I think my age estimates are going to be really good, plus or minus a year or two. So when all that research comes out, because I've been documenting them as they grow older, I've seen individuals grow older and older. I can assume, when a Sasquatch looks like he's, just as one example, one Sasquatch Jacob that I've been following, I think it's Jacob that we filmed the top of the head of in Survivor Man. And I saw him when he was small, like maybe a 5-year-old kid. And I think he was probably a 3-year-old Sasquatch. And I've seen him grow. And now that when he was 3 years old, there's no way he was 2, and there's no way he was 5. So, so now I've got him dialed in approximately. It's a really good guesstimation. And now when he gets older, I just add a year. He's plus or minus this, plus or minus. And so now that he's 13 years old, 14 years old, and now when I see him, I've seen him grow. I've seen how his tracks change. I've seen the depth of his tracks, the power, the weight, the height, the size, the speed. And so it's because it's been going on. I've been doing that research at that research site since 2008. It's 2019 now. I'm getting old, people. I'm getting old and beaten up. And please discuss Bigfoot DNA. What does the research community have? Such a controversial subject because, well, I'll tell you what I know for sure. I'm starting this year. I got to go out with a medical doctor, and this medical doctor, he has a PhD as a medical doctor, but he got his degree in genetics. So he checked on the Melba Ketchum DNA study, and he brought the whole freaking book of it. And he sat down with me. He went through the whole thing in 7 days with his expeditions, and he's convinced me as much as I can be convinced that DNA is legitimate. Also, there was a researcher who submitted DNA to it named Randy Brisson. I've been out with Randy Brisson. I introduced John Bennernagel to Randy Brisson. Randy Brisson, he's legit. He's awesome. He's amazing. He's just a wonderful, wonderful man. I've spoken to him years, and I really miss him. Randy, if you're out there, please, brother, give me a call. My goodness, what's going on with you, my friend? I know he had an illness and stuff. I hope he's okay. I think the world of Randy Brisson. What a wonderful man he is. And so he submitted a hair sample to it, and that one came back with good DNA, and he's completely legit and amazing. So are you kidding me? Ontario IT Research just donated $139. What? Somebody made a donate. How do you make a donation? What? Stunned. Somebody donated $139. How do you? I didn't even know people could make donations on here. Ontario ITT Research, or anybody else who wants to donate, be careful about donating on YouTube, because YouTube, I don't put my videos on YouTube. They take like 80% of the money. I don't mean to bash YouTube, but like I had my mini doc up on YouTube, and we did like $1,000 in sales. They gave me $10. It took PayPal was making more money on the transactions. So my goodness, heartfelt. Make sure whoever made that donation, make sure you email me, please, because and you look like you're everything's going so fast. You look like you're a Ontario research of some kind. So I'd really love to expand my cooperation. Everybody who makes a donation to me, be patient. I'm going to give you a call one by one. I talk to everybody. I'm talking to wonderful people that are monthly donators, and it's been awesome. All the wonderful people I've been meeting. So, oh my God, thank you so much for the donation. Make sure whoever that is, obviously you're listening, email me, and go to sylvanic.com, go to the contact us, send me an email. And, now I'm sure 300 people are going to send an email saying it was me. But anyways, thank you so much. Thank you so much for donating, Larry. Larry? What? Larry already donates. You don't donate online, Mr. That's Larry Buzzle. That's my new awesome friend from Washington State, Larry. What are you doing donating on here? Larry, don't do that. If you want to make a donation, please go. I don't trust YouTube at all. I'm sorry. YouTube is like, when YouTube pays us, I'm very clear that like right now I'm going to have like 1 million views this month, thanks to you awesome, amazing people. And I have almost 10 million minutes watched. That's like a freaking network. They're going to give me like $1,000 for that. Like, they're taking 99% of the money. It's always just like that. So even, I don't mean to bash anybody, but oh my goodness, the money that the distributors and the platforms are taking, like, if you don't buy my movie on iTunes, I'm sorry, but iTunes takes 80%. And then the distributor takes 19%, and I don't even think I get 1% out of it. So you love my humor and you want more of it. Yeah. Hey, that's an awesome question. S.J. Owens, my heroes are Jim Carrey and Mike Myers, Canadians. I think Canadians are funny because when you talk really fast and blah, 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 and you try to be funny, I think laughter generates heat, and that's when we get cold. If you go way south in Texas, well, they all talk nice and relaxed and slow like that. I think it's because they're trying not to generate too much heat. And I'll tell you, when I went down to Texas and I was there, my mom lived in San Antonio. Is he Canadian? And one day, one woman was like, I'm trying to get a number on the phone, and she wouldn't give it to me quick. She was taking her time. And boy, I gotta tell you, I fell in love with the Dun South people. My goodness. Oh my God, I fell in love in the South. I learned to chill my butt out, calm down, and show some chill out, dude. Relax. Let the heat. You don't fight the heat. It's like man versus nature. That's what the Southern United States taught me. I'm fighting the heat. Well, yeah, I think you have to fight the cold. Flex, stay warm. If you get cold, you'll freeze to death. But that doesn't work that way. Don't fight the heat. Relax in it. Show some serenity. And those wonderful Southern Americans, boy, they taught me how to chill out, have a good time. I'm sorry if I sound ridiculous with the accent. I just mean nothing but respect. Honest, heartfelt respect. Love for the South. Man, those just love and heartfelt. I just love the Southern United States, Southern hospitality. What a wonderful, I love the United States. Come on. So amazing, wonderful place. There's no border. Come on. Ontario ITC research is Todd, it's Daniel. Well, Amanda, you know all about it. Just keep me informed, right? People are still donating. That's awesome. Thank you. Please just go to my website and donate, please. I don't know. Anyways, let's ask another awesome question. Let's get on with this. Bro, you have to get some adventurous income, YouTube, worst Amazon affiliates program, Patterson's awesome sponsors. Thanks, dude. I'm going to look at this later. Are you worried about Ligma? I don't know what that means. Hey, Todd, Northern Ireland. Just want to say thanks for your incredible work. Thank you, Chris. Let's go down because things are going so fast. Your research is fascinating. If Bigfoot exists and you're seen by them, has your reality or perception of life changed intensely? Why? What does that do to a human being to discover something so, I'm assuming, so enormous? Thanks, Follow Hollow. Yeah, changed. Gosh. When I first knew Sasquatch was real, let me tell you something. Like, I remember when I came back to my girlfriend at the time, and I'd filmed 2 Sasquatch videos under the tutelage of a firefighter from Calgary, Alberta, and a paramedic firefighter from Calgary, Alberta, and my mentor from Great Falls, Montana. And when I'd filmed them and I knew they were real, that was video 2 and 3. I was a believer. I knew they were real. And my girlfriend left me. She broke up with me, and it mattered. It was hurtful. It was hard. Sometimes you got to make some hard decisions. Life is so painful, but I felt that I could wrap up this discovery quickly. I felt like I could get this done and show this miracle to the world. And we're talking like 2005-ish, 2006. And of course, here I am well over a decade later, getting closer. We're all getting closer. But yeah, it changes you. It's got to change you. It's got to smash paradigms. It changed my spirituality. I feel like I have been through so much. I've taken my family through so much. I don't want to talk about it. I get upset. I mean, I could literally get teary-eyed. So shoot a Bigfoot with a tranquilizer gun. For God's sake, Bill M, go to my YouTube channel, To Kill or Not to Kill a Sasquatch. If that doesn't teach, I already said that even in this thing. But yeah, it changes you. It's hard. It's Todd, please try to read these comments. I'm trying, my friend. Thank you, Kane. But yeah, it really changes you. It's really so many levels. I mean, this discovery is so important that I keep moving forward. I'm just a little guy. I'm nobody that's, I don't know. I'm not worried about being remembered or having any kind of legacy. I want to leave some stuff for my family, but this discovery is so important. Like I do a lot of thinking about this. This species is so amazing. That's why they haven't been discovered, because they're so amazing. They're so intelligent. I could just go on all day about the incredibleness of them. This is not the discovery of the century. This is I think discovery millennium. This is the discovery of our time, of all time. Like, this is enormous. Like, scientifically, I know spiritually all that stuff, it's all arguable, but this is the most important discovery. This species will change the world. It'll bring people back to nature. And in wildness is the preservation of the world. And people have gone away from wildness. They don't think it's important. They don't care about the mountains. I've met people. Why just cut down all the trees? Who gives a shit? It's money. Go get the money. This discovery will change things in beautiful, brilliant ways. It's the most I can do for this planet that I love and that I'm passionate about. I love this planet. I love everywhere I've been. Sweden was brilliantly beautiful. I go down to the Caribbean on the Mayan side of Mexico, and they're damaging the reefs, and I'm pissed off. And somebody tells me, well, you have no right here. Where are you from, Canada? And I'm like, this is my planet, asshole. Get your goddamn anchor off the reef. You know what it takes to build that reef? You douche, some jerk put his anchor on the reef, and I go underwater and I see it ripping on the reef, and I was pissed. Man, when I came out of that water, I took my mask off. I gave that guy a piece of my freaking mind. I was pissed off. You're wrecking the reef, you jerk. You know how many, what it took to build that, and what damage you're doing? Get your goddamn anchor off there, you know? So I just love this planet, and it breaks my heart to see the damages coming. So I talked about Sasquatch language, Timothy. Just go to the beginning of the video. So, or no, it was on the other video. Anyways, we're all doing really good here. So let's do some more questions. I'll just do a couple more questions. So can Bigfoot catch human disease such as smallpox, etc.? Are you kidding me, Sammy? How you people are amazing. Yeah, be real careful. When I go see the gorillas, I put a mask on because all my diseases would wipe them out. I have to get checked. If I have any illnesses within a month, I don't go see the gorillas. And Sasquatch are much closer related to us than gorillas. So yeah, brilliant, awesome question, dude. Be careful. When you give them apples, clean them. If you've been sick, don't give them gifts. You'll kill the whole troop. If one of them gets a cold, it's like natives in the Amazon. You can wipe them out with a cold. It's deadly serious. People learn about your diseases. Fire, Todd, fire. Have you introduced any of them to fire? If so, no, they'll never touch fire, dude. I'll tell you, they fear technology so much. All kinds of technology are feared so much. In my research site in Radium, I accidentally left an axe on a trail that they walk on. And I didn't go back there to that particular spot for a couple years. And I saw that they weren't, I'm following the trail where the Sasquatch walk, and there's this big 10-meter walk around the axe. And I'm looking, I'm going, what the hell? I'm thinking, why wouldn't they pick up? It's an axe. It's just a little hatchet kind of axe, but it's a cool tool. It's silver. They could do things with it. They were afraid of that thing, dude. And the more I've learned, the more I realize Sasquatch are fear technology, because once you go down that road for technology, you could literally never come back. And they've seen that with the native people. The native people used to be connected and awesome. Now you go to reserves and, you know, they're having trouble. You know, it can be messy sometimes. Some of them are doing good, but there's problems with technology. There's no coming back once you go down. I can't go back. You think you could? Survivor Man is Les Stroud. Survivor Man is one of the toughest human beings I've ever seen. He's a survival, amazing genius. If I threw him naked in the wilderness and told him he couldn't use technology, he would not survive 3 months. If I took a Sasquatch naked and threw him in the wilderness in the same spot, I'd come back in 10 years. He'd have a nice fat belly. You know, that's what technology has done to us. We cannot survive without I could not survive. I don't know if maybe somebody else could. But, you know, in the harsh climates in the north here, it's extremely difficult to survive with, again, no technology. You can't make a spear. You can't build a hut. You can't build a shelter. So no technology. We're not going to do so good. That's not really arguable. So just do one more question. Les Stroud is so legit. You are Darlene. Man, that dude is tough. Wow. I could just talk about how tough and legit he is. He's an artist. He's a beautiful human being. He's just a piece of art walking around. He's film art. He's survival art. He sings art. Arctic Mistress is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever seen. Look it up. Watch it. My goodness. It got nothing for, should have been viral, and people barely watched it. So one more question. Thank you, Todd, for spending time with us. Thank you for coming out. Crow. Have you seen anything else besides Sasquatch that boggles the mind while out in the wilderness? UFOs? Oh, dude, why? Yes, I was doing research on a reserve, and the natives were calling me anytime something Sasquatch happened. I was working with them, and it was a wonderful relationship. And one day a native man gives me a call and says, you know, something happened to my cows. It's brutal, unbelievable what's happened to my cow. Please come and have a look. So I go out there and have a look. I really don't like talking about this. But anyways, I go out there and have a look. And this cow is like laser cut up. Like it's cut up all over the place, and it's all like perfect. I've never seen anything like it in my life. This is on a reserve, native man with cows, and there's like lasered cows with pieces missing to it. And I can't even make sense of it. It's all separated and put out. And I asked him, I'm like, this is crazy, dude. This is not Sasquatch. I've never seen anything like this. This is unbelievable. This can't happen. He's like, you know, I don't understand. What about my cow? So I go, was there anything else strange around here? He goes, yeah, there was lots of lights up on the hill, and now the dirt's like glass up there. So I go up on the hill, I don't know, 600 yards away. The earth is like, the dirt is, like he said, it's like glass. Looks like lavatized dirt. Like I've never seen. The grass is burnt into this earth. It's unbelievable. Never seen anything like it. So I'm there with them for the day, and they have these rituals, and they're praying, doing all the cool things. So Fish and Wildlife show up, because when Fish and Wildlife show up and there's a kill in this area, they'll pay for the damage to the livestock, and maybe even decide to go hunt and kill the animal or not. So Fish and Wildlife show up, and in an hour they come and have a look. They go away. In an hour, they're going to the native guy. They go, so that's one cow. Can we pay you for 4? And he goes, yeah. I'll take that. Yeah. I go, okay. So, and they go, just a mountain lion. And I look at the guy, and I go, pardon me? He goes, it was just a mountain lion. Pause, stunned. Mountain lion. Do you think I'm somehow mentally handicapped to the point where I shouldn't be driving? That was not a mountain lion, sir. There's no signs of a mountain lion. They took all the cow away. They went in with shovels and removed all the earth that was strange like that. The native man couldn't have given less of a crap, because he got 4 times the value of a cow. You know, market value right there. What's 4 times? Wrote him a check. Have a good day. See you later. So, and it was on a documentary called, it's on my website, just some UFO paranormal documentary. And when I was doing the documentary, I flew out to Los Angeles, and you know, I met with these people, and it was pretty cool. They were also doing a documentary about alien. It's mostly an alien conspiracy show. They just did a special on Bigfoot, and I met with a surgeon who had this steel. This surgeon who goes around diagnosing people's legs have been amputated by unknown purpose. You've probably seen this stuff, like legs that have been. He's had all these. He's showing me all these X-rays and stuff, and these metal things. And I actually saw that piece of metal. He showed it to me because he's very interested in Sasquatch. I don't like the connection of UFOs and Sasquatch, because it's, to me, it's just different. I'm trying to, like, my PhD peeps, they don't, you know, you know what they'll tell me? The great John Bindernagel would say, it's paranormal enough, Todd. Let's not make it worse. And I agree. Let's get to the science. Let's get to the proof. It's so hard. Let's not make it harder. You're making it harder by adding conspiracy to the paranormal exponentially. It's 4 difficult. You add paranormal to it, it's 16 now. Don't do it. So I don't want there to be any Adam, thank you, with the aliens. You're funny. But, and here in Canada, the former Minister for Defense admitted publicly that the aliens are real. The former Minister of Defense of Canada says Sasquatch are real. He's been in meetings with Americans and Europeans and everywhere about the aliens. Again, I'm no expert. This is what I've seen, but there's it's incredible. And you people are way too smart. Way too smart. No, the Sasquatch cloak, man, that's such a long. They just hit you with infrasound and can stun you. I'm going to learn about that. Speaking of Larry, sorry, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I like to have my paradigm. This is the last. This is the last, y'all. Speaking of having my paradigm, I don't. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I like to be challenged. So there's a wonderful, very intriguing lady. I just don't want to name any names because I don't have her permission, but that claims that she's been taught how to go invisible by a Sasquatch, and she can do invisible things, and it's been substantiated by their people that she was, even somehow it's related to the Sasquatch. They're making her invisible and stuff. And there's some real science that can probably do with that. But the point is, when I first heard this, I'm thinking, crazy. As soon as I think that, I got to go have a look. Because it's the people that push the paradigm hard, they're going to make big changes. If we just take little risks, we're going to get little rewards. This is life, people. You want to take a big risk? It's big risks, big rewards, big failure, though, too, right? So I'm very attracted to that. And plus, they're first thing I'm attracted to is good-hearted, honest, passionate artist kind of people with feeling and love. And then second, you know, is the I don't know, I just have a good feeling. I go with my heart a lot. And that's why in all my videos I try to do about the art of Sasquatch, because that'll make this discovery move forward in leaps and bounds. You know, there's no PhD in the whole world that can track like real trackers, like the Native Americans and First Nations people could in Africa. The PhDs are led out on expedition by the trackers. I know so much. Like those trackers don't get any credit, and they're the heart and soul of this discovery. Trackers will go out with the PhDs that make it all happen, and respect them, respect to the PhDs, but not respect to the disrespect to the trackers. The trackers go out and they'll get near the gorillas and go, "No expedition today," and the PhDs go, "We're leaving," and nobody knows why. The tracker knows though. The tracker will feel bad energy in the air. He'll hear a sound like the gorilla's mad. Like he'll just they're cues subconsciously, and I understand this. I get it because I love that art. I love the science. The science is wonderful. We need the science, people. We need it. But if you want this discovery to move forward faster, we're going to need a combination of them both. They're both absolutely essential to this discovery. You people will stop asking me amazing questions. I am stunned. You people are amazing. Wow. So we're going to do this every week just because you people are awesome. You're pushing my paradigm. These questions are difficult. You people are awesome. Like, what do I even say? Oh my God. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a really cool video that I'm very excited to do on Saturday. People are bigfootencounter@gmail.com. If you've seen a Sasquatch or you have evidence of a Sasquatch, please send it there. People are sending me some amazing, amazing stuff. And I have a new still photograph next week of a young Sasquatch that I'm going to do. I'm not a critic. I'm not going to do a breakdown. I'm going to show you and give you my opinion and speak from the heart, tell you about what these people said. So that's coming up on Saturday. So I'll try to get it out Saturday morning as best I can. It'll be on Saturday. And yeah, thanks, Amanda. There, she put it down in the comments. bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Go to my forum if you want to chat with some incredible, brilliant, amazing people that I trust. And I'm just I'm sorry, just these people are just I love these new people in my life. The expeditioners that I've taken out, I'm like, when we go out on expedition together and we bleed together and we trust one another, we build a relationship that just is going to last forever. And 90% of people that are doing expeditions with me come out, and I'm just like, there's a bond now, and I could go through the list of all these people that are just wonderful in my life, and you know who you are, you expeditioners, all of you that have come out with me. We're at like nearly 20 people now, and then more if you consider, Survivor Man and Jeff Meldrum and some PhDs. And I love those people too. They're just awesome heroes in my life. Such admiration. And Jeff Meldrum is amazing. What a wonderful, brilliant man. He every step, every breath he takes, he makes the world a better place. He is such a hero to me. Such a hero. And one of the just wow is what I have to say. So anyways, just heartfelt, honest to God, thank you. I try not to be funny too much because I don't want people to not take me seriously, but goodness sake, last thing I'll say, remember, nobody knows this, but right before Jeff Meldrum saw a Sasquatch, this is so important. I was telling him jokes and he was laughing. In the audio recording, right before the Sasquatch came around and made that sound that's in my documentary, sorry, I'm not doing it around, but like a bird chirp, a sawweed owl chirp sound. Right before that sound in my documentary, I edited this out. Dr. Jeff Meldrum had been laughing for a couple hours. I was joking with him. I had humor. I got a sense of his humor. He was smiling. He was laughing, and they came around. And it's same thing with Dr. John Bitternagel. 3 days later, the Sasquatch came around because he was smiling and laughing and having a good time. He was feeling love and goodness in his heart. And that's when I get same thing with Survivor Man. I'm telling Survivor Man jokes and we're laughing and we're smiling and we're loving nature and we're being passionate, and boom, the Sasquatch come around. So never when we're tense, never when we're upset or angry, never have I had success on those days. If I can't get my mind clear, if I can't have serenity and be in love, that's the only way I can explain it. Be in love with nature, be in love with all the wondrous things. Love yourself. It's a hard thing to do. One of my greatest, what my son taught me more than anything else in the whole world is when I tell him I love him so much and he loves me so much, I have to love myself more. Otherwise, I'm lying to him. Does that make sense? I love him so much. He's like, Daddy, I love you so much. And now I have to love me more because he's teaching me to do that. And then you clean up and you deal with your paradigms and you accept yourself for your faults and the greatness of you, and you move forward. So love yourself, the way you love your children, the way you love the planet. So that the art of Sasquatch, again, also one of my favorite topics. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been a good over an hour. You people are amazing. I am looking forward to next week so much. Go to the forum, ask your questions. I had 8 wonderful questions today. There was a lot more. I apologize I didn't get to them, but thank you so much. Heartfelt gratitude. You guys are amazing. Thumbs up like crazy. And next Wednesday, and of course, Saturday's YouTube video. Until then, heartfelt gratitude. Thank you. We'll see you next week.